I think we're live. Chat, are we live? YouTube, please work.
I'm hearing rumors we might be live.
Yep, we're live. What is up, people of the internet? It is me, Real American, back in with a new video, or a new stream, I should say. We are live on this beautiful March 17th, 2026. I hope everyone's having a great day. I'm having a great day myself. And as you can tell, we're joined by Mr. Luke, aka
Yes,
Maga
just
Mal.
just for a minute. I'm just popping in for a second.
Yeah, so for those that are wondering,
But I'll be here for I'll be here for
yeah,
like 5 minutes.
yeah. So, I should mention this right away. People were asking. So, I was originally planning on streaming tonight for the Illinois Senate primary, but decided, you know what? Let Luke have his fun tonight with his channel. So, he
Yeah.
will be
So
live later
again,
tonight. I'll mention that right away.
yeah, everyone go to the Great Lakes Perspective. Just look up the Great Lakes Perspective on YouTube. Sub. We're gonna have fun tonight. It's gonna be a good primary stream. Come on, let's get us to 650 subs. We just hit 610. Get to 650. Come on, let's do it.
Yeah.
Great Lakes Perspective. Tune in tonight. It's going to be great. We're going to go over not just the Senate primary, but a lot of the House primaries and some of the Republican primaries for statewide offices. So
All
tune
right,
in.
so we have a
It's
lot
going
to
to be good.
talk about today. But before we get into it, guys, don't forget to like, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. These are all great ways to support the daily content. And if you have any questions or concerns or want to support the channel even further, the best way is sending super chats via the chat. Again, I'll read through as much of chat as possible, but usually super chats are the best way to get your questions answered. Got a couple super chats to read. Wild and Crazy Bear for 2. Why hasn't Trump gone after Thune more? Well, he has lately, but it's not directly, but he has been calling out Thune indirectly, saying like they got to pass the act, the Save America Act. Part of that is because he wants to have a good relationship with Thune, unlike McConnell, who's just a dumb shit. And I do think Thune is trying. Again, I made this clear many times before. I don't think he's a bad guy. I think he's trying his best, but he's just not a good leader. All right. He does not have the backbone, I don't think. That's my opinion on Thune. So, spikes for 2. Give the Trump admin a grade from 1 through 10. Ooh, that's a tricky one. 1 through 10. It depends on the issue, I guess,
Here's
but
what I'll say. Foreign issues, 9. Domestic issues, 6. That's what I'll say.
I agree. I think, foreign policy wise, I may disagree with some of the stuff he's doing, but it's been working. So I would say 9 for foreign policy. It's like a 9 or borderline 10 for domestic issues outside of immigration. I'm gonna say probably 5 out of 10. If you're, and that's kind of pushing it. I think with immigration, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10. So I would say average it out 7 to 8 out of 10, somewhere in that range. It could be better. It could get a lot better. We'll see. But K Cup for 5. Late Sean Nan politics. Share the meat bun with Chip. Until you get the references wrap, I will continue to make them. Also, Spider-Man trailer tomorrow. Is that a Sonic reference? I'm pretty sure that's a Sonic reference. I could be wrong, but anyways, thanks for super chat, good sir. American Nerd for 2. Joe Kenneth sadly resigned for the Trump admin. Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. Glitch Evie for 2. Joe Kent shouldn't be in the government ever again. Yeah, Civil Logic for 2. Joe Kent left the admin. Again, we'll get to that. Avery for 10. Morning Rap, voting for the first time today in Illinois' primary, Illinois 6. Anybody on the GOP side that you or Luke would endorse? Also, Joe Kent has her.
Vote for what's his name, Dabrowski or whatever for governor. Let me look up the Polish guy. Vote for him for
Yeah,
governor.
I don't know for
Darren Bailey.
for the
Yeah,
House
I'll go
race. I
on.
don't know. I don't know who's really running Illinois 6. Look, I would just do your own research.
Mhm.
So yeah, again, some of those races I don't
Yeah,
honestly know, but
but
yeah,
yeah, what I'll tell you is don't vote for Darren Bailey. He's a nice guy. He's good on the issues, but you cannot even get it close statewide. So if you want the governor race to have any shot, vote for the Polish guy. He's
yeah.
got the best shot at beating
Okay.
Bailey. So
Also,
vote for
Joe
him.
Kent has earned himself biggest loser ever award after his antics. Okay, let's talk about Joe Kent because that's the story that broke before he streamed. K Cup for 2. Yep, Sonic reference. Proud of you, rap. Here's $2. Yeah, I thought I heard it from Sonic or something. I just knew it was a Sonic reference, but thank you so much, good sir. Okay, let's talk about the big story of the day. what broke earlier. So Joe Kent, who is the director of National Counterterrorism Center, he resigned today. This came out of nowhere. Joe Kent officially resigned from his position as the director of the Counterterrorism Center, and it was over the war in Iran. Okay, let's just look at what he actually said because I'm not going to attack Kent. I should be clear about that. I'm not going to attack him because I get his reasoning for resigning. I'm not going to be one of those people that say, "Oh, Kent, he's awful. He's worse than like I don't freaking know." Just the point is, I'm not going to bash Kent for this. I just disagree with why he did it. So, Joe Kent, he said, after much reflection, I've decided to resign my position as director of the National Counterterrorism Center effective today. I cannot in good conscience support the ongoing war in Iran. Iran posed no immediate threat to our nation, and it is clear that we started this war due to pressure from Israel and its powerful American lobby. I support the values of the foreign policy that you campaigned on in 2016, 2020, and 2024, which you enacted in your first term. Until June of 2025, you understood that the wars in the Middle East were a trap that robbed America of their precious lives of our patriots. Okay, again, I'm not going to bash Kent because I think he's a good guy, and I get the reasoning. I think he lost his wife, I think it was.
I get that. And again, I think it's
Yeah.
best to probably, I'll just say this. If it were up to me, I think we'd keep a lot of these people who are very emotional about the topics of war just out of these foreign policy
Yeah,
positions.
like,
Again, that's not saying like he's a bad person because of that.
I think he's
Because
a good
obviously
guy, just
you're gonna have an emotional like reaction there. But the thing is, if that inhibits your job from being able to conduct foreign policy, like foreign policy is not a game you should be basing off of emotion. You should be basing it off of like just the facts, off of like what is America's interest. That's what it should be. Um and again, Joe Kent takes a very emotional look at it, and you probably shouldn't be doing that.
yeah, so he says
So
right here, and the one issue I do got with this is what it says right here. As a veteran who was deployed to combat 11 times, and as a Gold Star husband who lost my beloved wife Shannon in a war manufactured by Israel, I cannot support sending the next generation off to fight and die in a war that serves no benefit to the American people, nor justifies the cost of American lives. He, of course, is talking to, I think, about Iraq. I think that's when his wife got killed. It was in Iraq,
which
I
again, I
think.
thought the whole argument with Iraq was that Saudi Arabia was pushing it, not necessarily Israel.
I'm pretty sure Israel was against it, actually.
Yeah, well,
I think
yeah,
they were kind of against it.
yeah, the people claim that Israel like wanted it to do it and then last minute changed their position. But thing was, it's very much seen by most people as like what the Saudis wanted America to do. So it wasn't even really it wasn't even really an Israeli thing. Anyways, I gotta leave.
All right.
But yeah, have a good one.
Yes, yeah. All right. So yeah, Joe Kent did resign. I think the reason is kind of bullshit. Again, I'm not going to attack him. I understand why he did it. I understand he has some issues, but it just like I don't know. Don't know. It was Syria. Okay, it was excuse me. It was Syria. Even then, like, was that really Israel though? That was pushing that. I could be mistaken again. I'm not saying he's wrong or whatever, but I don't know. I just think this like if you want to push back at some of the stuff they're doing, my issue with this really is like some of the way he framed it is kind of just out there. Again, I get the reasoning to a certain extent, but at the same time, it's still kind of weird how he phrased it. And at the same time, why would you resign your post? Like, you're in the administration, you theoretically have influence as the director of national counterterrorism. You have theoretically at least, you have the ability to direct change. I just don't get it. I don't think this is a good idea to resign like this. And this is the issue with the right. Like, they don't like something going on. They don't just try to work and try to fix it. They just leave. They just bail. Look at the left. Do they ever resign for anything? Seriously. They could be the most corrupt people on earth. They could be pushing the most batshit crazy stuff. Everybody tells them to resign and they won't. Because guess what? They don't. They use power and when they get it, they use it and they don't lose it forever. It's just wild. American Nerd for 2. Heard that Tucker's going to interview Kent soon. I heard that too. So we shall see. Adam Nash for 2. Vote for Larry Sharpe for New York State governor. Again, I don't really know enough about the race, but yeah. But principles. Yeah, that's the issue here. Like, you have my principles, and that's about it. It's bullshit. Complete and total bullshit. Yeah, Bob Menendez. Like, that took the entire Democrat apparatus to force him out. And even then, he did not go down without a fight. He never resigned. So, it's just like, this is the issue with the right. You get power, and you just leave like this? Seriously? I don't know. This whole thing is just wild. It came out of nowhere, and the administration did respond. Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt, she did put out a very long statement, and yeah. It's a very long statement, and basically she's going against the idea that Kent like Kent's wrong here for saying like, oh, Iran posed no imminent threat to our nation. You can argue if they did or didn't, but at the same time, I do think Iran is just like bad. I'm sorry that this is a hot take, I guess, but guys, the Iran regime, they killed a lot of people, not just people in their own country. They killed thousands of Americans over the last 30 years. They bombed embassies. Well, not them directly, but their militias. They bombed embassies. They hijacked planes and they kidnapped people. It was crazy. They've been doing this shit for years. So, not good. Not good at all. Tucker's been bad lately. Yeah, he's been iffy. Yeah, it's wild. I don't get like why resign? You have an opportunity to enact change and you don't. There's definitely more to the story here. There's definitely way more going on because it's just the whole thing is bizarre that you would resign, you have all this power and influence, and you just leave. Yeah, Republicans should never resign in Congress as long as Ilhan Omar and Tlaib are in there. Yeah, those two will never leave Congress unless they are physically forced out. And even then, they're going to try to stay in. AV for 5. What's wild is this was probably this was literally a pity position after he lost the Trump seat twice, and they go as a backstab Trump even after all that. I mean, I don't think it's really a backstab necessarily, but it could turn into that, I guess. But I don't know. American Nerd for 2. Why are Republicans so obsessed with principles? I don't know. Because they still think it's like the 1990s, where even the Democrats, to a certain extent, still had some kind of principles. They they were getting bad back then, but they at least tried to have, at least pretend in some areas to have principles. So, plus it's a scam. It gives them an excuse not to do anything. Puerto Rico for 5. Team USA has been killing it. Yeah. Today we're going against Venezuela, I think, for the World Baseball Classic, which is just ironic. It's like, wait, the future 51st state's actually gonna go against the United States today. I'm not actually serious, but I'm kind of quoting the Trump tweet. So, a glitch EV for 2. I heard rumors he was leaking information. Really? Wait, hold up. What? He was leaking information? Let me pull this up. Okay, yeah, somebody posted it right here. So apparently, yeah, hold on a second here. It is a correspondent from Fox News. Allegedly, Joe Kent was a huge leaker. Now, obviously, when it comes to like these leaks and stuff, this like bullshit sources, it could be fake. Obviously, you have to be careful with it because there's a good chance some of the quote unquote leaks are just bullshit and they're trying to go after Kent. They're mad. I get that to a certain extent, but yeah, right here. So it is a White House correspondent from Fox News, and apparently Joe Kent was a known leaker, and he was cut out of POTUS's intelligence briefings months ago. The White House told DNI Tulsi Gabbard he should be fired for suspected leaks, but she never did. He has never been part of any Iran planning discussions or briefings at all. Huh. Wait a minute. Hold up. If he was, again, this could be bullshit, but if this is true that he wasn't a part of any briefings, how would he know it's about Israel? How would he know? Did he just take a guess and just say, oh, some anonymous source told me? Seriously? Again, I don't know. This could be bullshit. Again, when stuff like this happens, there is a lot of bullshit news that does happen. I get that. But I don't know. I have no clue what's going on here. I'm not going to attack Joe Kent, though. I think he's a good guy. I understand why he's doing this, but still, I disagree with it. Disagree with it. A friend embarrasses too. Yeah, I think so. I think you're right about that. K-Cup for 5. Dear Venezuela, if you defeat the U.S. in the World Baseball Classic, we will return Maduro to your country. Go do your best, buddy. That's real. President Gilbert Giddy up for 2. We're going to take the Venezuela coach. Yeah, that's real. Apparently Mike Johnson said he wasn't part of the briefings. So how the fuck would he know? Hold up. Did Mike Johnson actually say that? Mike Johnson. Let's see. Mike Johnson press conference, I'm guessing. Okay, yes. Yeah, so Mike Johnson just said, hold on. Yeah, right here. Mike Johnson just spoke on the resignation of Joe Kent, and allegedly, or apparently, according to Mike Johnson himself, the Speaker of the House, who is in fact in these briefings, so he knows who's there and who isn't. Apparently, he said, "I don't know where Joe Kent is getting his information, but he wasn't in those briefings. Clearly, they had. Oh my gosh, he actually lied, didn't he? Really?" So Mike Johnson, the White House, and now these anonymous sources, they're all saying the same thing, that no, he was never part of the briefings. How the hell? Oh my gosh, really? He got his information from Tucker Carlson, didn't he? Oh no. It's gonna come in like a week or two. It's like, yeah, he got his info from Tucker Carlson or some shit like that. Unbelievable. Really, Kent? She's like, you have a top position at DNI. You have an ability to enact real change. And you're going to lie about this? Listen, you could say you disagree with the war in Iran. You believe that's like not a reasonable reason or whatever. Fine. But seriously? Yeah, I don't know. I guess everybody could be lying about this. But I don't know. I don't know. He got Tucker pilled. I don't know. Maybe he did. K-Cup for 2. Joe Kent will be on Fox News in 2 weeks' watch. No, he's going to be like, he's going to start his own podcast. It's always weird. Like, every time somebody, like, leaves the administration for Trump, they always turn the most schizophrenic people. I hope that doesn't happen here, but I don't know. What the fuck happened with Joe Kent? He resigned, and he's claiming that Israel did everything, basically. So normally people get their information from Alex Jones. Well, he's been off his rocker too lately, so it's not good. I have no clue what's going on. There's much more to this story. Like, my guess is he was told to resign, and he decided to say fuck everybody on his way out. That's probably what happened. I don't know, because now they're claiming that he was leaking information. So, and he wasn't even a part of the briefings. President Trump didn't even discuss it with him. So how the fuck would he know? No clue. No clue at all. Breaking: Joe Kent nominated for the next Kid of Cutter. That's real. Aaron for 2, did you hear Tucker may run for president in 28? Guys, it's a meme. Guys, if he runs, he's gonna get like 2% of the vote. It's a joke, especially against Vance or Rubio or whoever. Seriously, you're not firing me. I quit. He was probably told you gotta resign, dude. That's probably what happened. No clue though. It's just very like sad that every time somebody resigns from the administration, 95% of the time, not every time, but 95% of the time, they turn into schizophrenics. They become resist liberals. They take Democrat talking points, and yeah. To be fair to Alex Jones, he pushes back on the whole Israel derangement thing. Well, yeah, I mean that's the thing with Alex Jones. He's kind of lost it lately, but he's always been, he's trying in some areas, but yeah. Avery for 5, just pre-ordered the new book, How Israel Took Over the President, written by Joe Kent. Yeah, it's gonna happen. I'm hoping not, but there's a bad track record when it comes to people that resign. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you're right, Glitchivi. Like, if the rumors are true that he was leaking classified information, I'm wondering if he leaked stuff to Tucker Carlson. I'm wondering. Because now, apparently, they're about to have a new show. Like, they're about to have a episode together. So, I don't know. Maybe that's bullshit. I hope it is. But, guys, there's way more to this story. They're not saying everything. Neither side is. Joe Kent isn't. The Trump admin isn't. Even Mike Johnson probably isn't saying everything. There is way more to the story that's going on. All right. Pass the Save America Act. And I guess we could segue into the big story of the day. Everybody, I can't believe I have to say this, but the Republican Senate's useless. The Senate majority we got is pathetic. They have no clue what they're doing. Wow, what a shocking turn of events to absolutely nobody. So, yeah. Today is a big day for the Save America Act. It's kind of day 1 of the process to try to pass it. I still think it's going to fail, but everybody, take a guess what our good old leadership is doing right now. For a 90-10 issue. We're talking about a 90-10 issue with voter ID, 80-20 for proof of citizenship, even a 70-30 issue for DHS to have voter rolls. Like this is a very popular piece of legislation, okay? And take a guess what our great majority is doing. Take a guess, everybody. Just take a guess what they're doing. K-Cup for 2, but what does Sonic think of all of this? I don't know. Dave says the Senate Republicans fucked up. 0. Yeah, I can't think of the last time the Senate GOP didn't fuck up. Seriously. Even through the big, beautiful bill, that took Trump using a lot of political capital just to barely pass it. It is pathetic. All right, let's talk about everybody. So, today's kind of a big day for there is a lot of procedural votes happening today. This is the first step in trying to pass it. Now, again, this is not actually passing the bill. It's kind of the bullshit they have to do to get it on the floor and try to debate on it. And I included Bernie Moreno in the thumbnail for a reason. That for those that don't know, this is Bernie Moreno of Ohio. He's been phenomenal. Well, according to a correspondent from, right here. Look at this. Senate Republicans might need Vice President Vance to break a tie on the Save America Act for the procedural vote. Not for the vote itself, just for a bullshit procedural vote to just get the process started. So it sounds like right now there are 3 Republicans going to vote no the entire time. Not just for the bill itself, but for the procedural votes. Take a guess who the 3 are. Just take a guess. Mitch McConnell, Murkowski, and Tom Tillis. Really? Seriously, this should be a unanimous vote from every Republican. And instead, you already have 3 Republicans voting no on everything. Yeah, Susan Collins is supporting it. What's the excuse for Tom Tillis, for McConnell, for Murkowski? Seriously, it is complete bullshit. It is insane that we have to deal with this crap. Yeah, apparently it's Tom Tillis. Apparently it's Tom Tillis. Let me find it. Yep, right here. This is being reported by Punchbowl News. Look at this. Look at this shit. Tillis will be a no on beginning debate on the SAVE Act, or I guess Save America Act. So you're telling me you have these 3 assholes going to be voting no on everything. So we're going to have Vice President Vance like on standby. Unfucking believable. This is insane. When do Democrats ever do this to themselves? Notice that? It's only Republicans that do this shit. Democrats, every time they need the votes, they all vote yes. It doesn't matter where they're from. It can be Joe Manchin, and he will vote yes. He votes no on the obscure shit no one cares about. The stuff we need yeses on, they're there every single time. Unbelievable. So Vice President Vance has to be on standby, not just to pass the bill, but to get it to a debate. Avery for 2. Susan Collins is the GOAT. Yeah, Susan Collins is a team player. She never does this shit. She actually works with the majority. That's why people like Collins, because she doesn't do this shit. But principles level bullshit. Yeah, this is crazy. What are we trying to accomplish here? Guys, you do realize there are no downsides here. Seriously, what are the downsides of the GOP? Worst case scenario, you don't pass it, but you get Democrats on record opposing common sense stuff. You make them look crazy. You force through amendments and they vote no on everything. You get them on record, and at the same time, the base would love you for at least trying. That's all we're asking for you. We're not asking for you to get it through. At best case scenario, yeah, I guess we are. But people wouldn't be upset if you tried. If you actually tried to get it through and it failed, it sucks. But at least you tried. You put in the work to try to get it through, and it failed for whatever reason. But nope. These people don't give a shit. Yeah, it's an 80-20 issue. It's just fucking wild that we're dealing with this shit. We're not talking about a 50-50 issue. We're talking about 80-20, 90-10, especially with voter ID and proof of citizenship. Even the voter roll shit's popular because people realize the voter rolls are filled with garbage. They are so corrupt, they need to be fixed. And I understand, like, Tristan, I get what you're saying in chat where, like, you know, it's a bit, like, it's 80-20 issue, it's not important. I get that, but it's the message it sends. We voted Republicans into power because we wanted change. And this symbolizes everything wrong with Washington. You can't get through an 80-20 issue because you have 3 Republicans are petty? Really? K-Cup for 5. Trump right now should shine the national spotlight on those 3 and go off. What's he going to lose? Their votes? They're all going to vote no anyways. Well, he already has. They're going to vote no matter what. Tom Tillis, like, really? He threw a temper tantrum because Trump said, you're going to vote yes or I'm not going to support you. And that's when he lost him. He's just full of shit. Unbelievable. And by the way, this is why somebody like Hovey losing in 2024 hurts. Or Mike Rogers. If we would have 54 in the Senate right now, we would not have to deal with this shit. Yeah, Those three have nothing to lose. And that's the problem. There's going to be a serious discussion about the current state of the Senate and how we actually elect senators, because I've been arguing this for a while, but I think it's clear now. The direct election of senators from the 17th Amendment it's a disaster. I'm glad some people are realizing it now. It's like, oh, because you do it this way. Guys, let me explain the whole thing, I guess. Before the 17th Amendment, state legislators picked the senators. That's how it worked. Well, after the 17th Amendment, it became the direct election of them. And you notice, ever since it passed in the mid, I think it was like 1920, 1915, question, has anything like good come to the direct election of senators? Seriously, can anyone name one thing, like a direct positive of the system we got right now? I can't think of one. I cannot think of one thing they can point to and say, yes, this made things better. By old standards, it made it even worse. Yeah, it was the 1910s, excuse me. Yeah, it was the mid-1910s. They forced it through. But seriously, I cannot think of one positive thing to come from this. Nothing. Because back then, you could say, well, it would be corrupt now. Yes, there was corruption. I'm not denying that. But guess what? Having the state legislators decide, funny enough, actually prevented people like Mitch McConnell from having power for 30 years. That's the ironic thing about it. It just worked that way. Back then, the state legislators, since they could pick the senator, at any point they get pissed with somebody, they force them out. That's how it worked. Because guess what? These senators, when they are there in office for 6 years, they become so entrenched. They raise so much money. They have campaign infrastructure. It basically becomes impossible to primary them out. That's the issue. But with the state legislators, guess what? They can throw them out. They don't have to worry about elections or whatever. That's the issue. That's the issue with the current system. They're stuck in Washington. They get entrenched. They stay there. They become corrupt, and you can't get rid of them. Mitch McConnell's a perfect example. Lindsey Graham, another good one. You can't get rid of these people. Murkowski, look at that system. She changed the electoral system so she would win because she knew she was going to lose. That's the problem. All right, Puerto Rico for 2. It sucks we lost the Nevada, Wisconsin, and Michigan Senate seats. Or Arizona. Mark Lamb would have won that seat. I am still just so upset by that. I mean, you could have Mark Lamb in the Senate right now. He would have won. But no, Kari Lake had a run for whatever reason. K-Cup for 2. I mean, Hovde won, but Milwaukee went Burr. Yeah, we all know that. Avery for 2. What's Fetterman's position on this? Chance he saves. No, he's against it. Christopher Laurie for 5. This is what I've been saying before the 17th Amendment. The Senate was not this partisan. There was more accountability. Well, yeah, I'm pretty sure the age of the Senate in like the 1910s, I don't think it was that old. I could be wrong, but let me check actually. Median age of U.S. senators, 2025. So the average age right now for the U.S. Senate is 64, okay? Back in 1910, let me look this up. I gotta find it. I don't know. Either way, though, just like there is one metric out there where it's like, yeah, the Senate right now is currently the oldest it's ever been. We're up there. So, American Nerd for 2. How screwed are we with this in the midterms? If you don't try, you're gonna lose. So, Josh for 5. Tillis and McConnell saying fuck you on their way out. Yeah, that's the issue. Median does not equal average. Yeah, I know. I gotta find it, but there's a metric out there where it's like this is the oldest the Senate's ever been by a big margin. I'm pretty sure. I could be wrong about that, but I'm pretty sure it's the oldest it's been. So, but the point is though, Before the 17th Amendment, the state legislators would decide on the senator. And there's a lot of corruption. Let's be clear about that. But again, because of that, A, senators did not have to worry about reelection, not directly. So they did not have to worry about it. They do not become, they become, they don't have to worry about like campaign finance or fundraising or anything like that. They don't have to worry about any of that. And guess what? They're held more accountable by the state legislator. Because with primaries and stuff, they become so entrenched, they have all that money, you can't defeat them. So that's the issue. That's a problem here. And now you have people like Mitch McConnell. They've been there forever. You can't get rid of them. And on their way out, they're saying, fuck you. This was never the point of the system. This was never the intention to have the system like this where, oh yeah, somebody like Mitch McConnell can be in the Senate for 30 plus years. And on his way out, he just says, fuck you. And he votes no on everything. That was never the intention of it. American Nerd for 2. Trump should just push for a new majority leader. I mean, can they really do that? I don't know. AJ for 5. Do you think the loud minority on the internet would totally influence flips on the House, Senate, presidential levels, etc.? I don't know. Maybe in some areas they could, but I don't know. Don't really know, honestly. Hold on. How screwy are we with this in the midterms? Again, I don't know. To be determined. But yeah, it's just wild to think that that's the state of the Senate. They don't even try to hide it anymore. They just know it's so corrupt that it can be something they supported 5 minutes ago, but just because of reasons, they just say, fuck you. Chris Lori for 5. Also talk about history repeating. I think the U.S. Senate has become awful and useless on par with the Roman Senate during Caesar's day. Yeah, you're not wrong. And that's the issue. This was never the intention of the Senate. The original intention of the Senate was to be a check by the states in the federal government. That's the reality of it. It was supposed to be the Senate that is elected by the state legislators, and they are a check on the people, which is the House. That was the intention. And they were supposed to be the ones that, you know, they're more like actually principled and they don't have to worry about re-election. So they can look at every piece of legislation and just like actually read it, discuss it, debate it. Kind of like what's the best way to describe it? Kind of like what's the way to describe it, chat? Because that's what it was. They debated on the issues. They actually had real debates. They had real discussions. They took their time. They worked out the process and they got stuff done. Now you get nothing done through the Senate because everybody's worried about re-election, fundraising, all that shit. That's the issue. Takeout for 5. Can Trump do what can Trump do to put term limits in? Because it's BS the swamp monsters can stay forever, but the one guy who wants to change things has to go at some point. It has to be amended in the Constitution. So Jack Max for 5. The SAVE Act will pass one day or one way or another. Some judge would say it won't apply till 28 due to limited resources. Do you see Andy Ogle's bright future? Yes, I think he's a run for Senate. Andy Ogles, I think, will eventually run for Senate. So, stewardship, yeah, like the point of the Senate was a check on the House, and vice versa. That's the whole point. They're there to make sure crazy shit doesn't get rammed through right away because of something crazy that occurred. They're supposed to be like a kind of like a speed bump to slow things down, everybody relax, but eventually work it out. That's the point. Lord Rhino for 5. The legislator should still be able to recall a senator of the majority party, of the majority of party voters in that state demanded it. I agree. There should be recall of senators. I've always advocated for that. 100% agree. There should be a recall system in place. Not because like the opposing party says so. No. It should be based on the fact that, hey, the majority of that own state party is opposed to the guy. There should be a recall. And the state legislator should be able to change it. I agree with that. There has to be checks because we have people in the Senate for 6 years. Guess what? become entrenched. Like I said, they get corrupt. They sit there. They don't have to worry about anything. They have no accountability. So they can get elected one day in like 2024 or whatever, and they don't have to worry about anything until 2030. That's bullshit. That is insane. American Nerd for 2. Was the Senate supposed to be similar to the UK House of Lords? Kind of, but not, not the same system, obviously, but kind of. Cowboy Coyote for 10. Question: do you think it's possible for Democrats to end up shooting themselves in the foot, so to speak, during or before the midterms, and could it cost them the midterms? Yes. We are talking about a delusional party. So I do think they're gonna do something really dumb. Don't know what yet, but anyways. I at least like how the Senate terms are at last 6 years. Well, it works if you have real checks on it. You don't have that now. You just have direct elections and they just win every time. So they become entrenched, you can't get rid of them. They're just stuck there. They're just shit. That's why the system before worked. It wasn't perfect, but a lot better than we got right now. A lot better. North Carolina needs to create term limits for AG and Secretary of State. I guess they could try, but I don't know. Ogles could be good for Tennessee governor. Maybe. I think America 250 will trip the left up. Yeah, that is a good point. That is something we talked about a little bit before, but with it being America 250 this year, the whole celebration of 250 years, I think there's going to be some kind of thing Democrats do that pisses people off. We'll see. We shall see, though. Oh, shit. Sorry about that, chat. I muted myself. Excuse me. American Nerd for 10. The 16th and 17th Amendments were the downside of the progressive era of Teddy Roosevelt and the like. I understand why they supported it and they had good intentions, but this had bad consequences. Well, yeah, they had good intentions, but it just got out of control. They did not realize that it would be this crazy. They never realized that. And hold up, everybody. We got confirmation from Axios that Tucker Carlson will have Joe Kent on a show. Yep, right here. Via Axios. Tucker Carlson is expected to interview Joe Kent as soon as this week after his resignation from the U.S. National Counterterrorism. Yeah. So Joe Kent magically goes from being the director of national counterterrorism, and immediately after resigning, he's going on Tucker's show. I wonder why. Again, I'm not going to attack Joe Kent, but that seems kind of suspicious. Very suspicious that's going on right after he resigns. Hey, Rap, you're not streaming the Illinois primary tonight. I am not. Luke is, though, on his channel. So, if the Iran stuff ends mid-May, the US 250 celebration July 4th and flood the airwaves with our cash in hand, and we have a chance. I agree. Just you have to end the war in Iran quick. It cannot drag on any longer. You got a couple more weeks before it's like, okay, this is Iraq 2.0 to a lot of people. So it already kind of is, but if you end the war in 2 weeks, or in a couple of weeks, I should say, people realize, oh, this is not Iraq. We actually won, and we got rid of one of the most dangerous regimes in the world. So, all right. Raise your hand if you saw that coming. Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of obvious it was going to happen. It's sad, but it's true. But yeah, it's wild to think that back to the Senate thing. I mean, it's just wild to think that the Senate right now is more corrupt because of elections. Isn't it kind of funny how that works? It's as if the founders realized this. It's like, wait, there's got to be some kind of check in the government. And you cannot just have democracy for every position. That's stupid. Spend $1 billion on ads during the 250 anniversary. I agree. Like, this is a good time to do it. I think right now, actually. But you have that money, so use it. Use the money. I definitely want to see we got rid of the regime. No, I'm saying we want to. Like, if you try to get to that point, if you get to that point, you can run on it. That's what I meant by that. Let's see. Will you stream the Kentucky primary? Yes. I can confirm, yes, we are streaming the Kentucky primary. Yep. All right. So I do think with the Save America Act, that was the point of the stream. Allegedly, Congresswoman Luna is telling everybody that it's about to fail. They're going to vote for cloture right away. Yep, right here. So Congresswoman Anna Paulina Luna, right here, she just announced. Hold on. Cake up for 5. Wait, hold on. The Democrat process is ruining our Senate. Holy shit, David Hogg was right when he said democracy is a threat to our democracy. Well, yeah, the issue with the Senate, again, was always never meant, it was never meant to be elected by the people directly. It was supposed to be via the state legislators. It was supposed to be a separate process, supposed to be a check on the entire process. So nothing crazy happens. That was the point. Not what it is now, where it's not just a check, it's just stopping anything from happening. Like, not just some stuff, but no, nothing can happen. Nothing can pass the Senate no matter what because of people's egos. No, that's stupid. Yeah, right here. Just got a word from my network in the Senate that Thune will file cloture and knows this vote will fail on the Save America Act. So they're not even going to try. Oh my God. These dumb shits are going to seriously waste an 80-20 issue. At least try. Again, we've been saying this for a while. If they would at least try to pass it, people would still be upset it fails. But if you're just going to file for cloture right away, that's fucking horseshit. At least try a couple of days for debating. Seriously, what is the House or the Senate going to pass? That's so important. Outside of maybe DHS funding. It's stupid. Mike Finn for 10. I don't think the 17th Amendment repeal solves everything. State legislators still useless. Indiana. Murkowski would still be elected. No Morris or Paxton. Better system as legislator appoints, voters recall. Oh, I agree. Like, there's got to be a counter. There should be a balanced system. I agree. There should be a recall system for senators because you end up with Mitch McConnell, who can just run for re-election and know 6 years from now I'm not running. Fuck it, I hate everybody. So I'm gonna be as corrupt as possible, rake in as much money as possible for my family, be insanely hard to deal with. There should be a recall system. I agree. There's got to be a check on everything. W for Luna. This might force Thune to change course because of the backlash. He's not going to. If they actually fail at this, not even try. Here's my prediction. Okay. People are already fed up with the GOP already. But this was the last chance to demonstrate to the world that you're at least trying. And you can show the world that, hey, if we get a bigger majority, we can get this through. But the fact that you're not even going to try a debate, seriously, go on for 2 days. Just try something. Good Lord. They can spend their time on their vacation. Yeah, that's the thing. They're so worried about their 20th recess this year. Oh my goodness, we're on recess for the 30th time this year. Jacko Maxter 2. Sorry, they got to do a doggy parade, not their job. Yeah, they got to do that. And that's why nothing gets done. The Senate is a fucking joke. What is the point of it now? American Note for 2. Do what Palpatine did and disavow the Senate. Yeah, do it. Josh for 5. Ogles versus my Representative Burchett for senator to replace Blackburn, who's running for governor. I would agree with Ogles. Ogles and Burchett would be a phenomenal delegation. I agree. Replace Thune with someone else to pass the SAVE Act. Yeah. Rap, your average Republican probably doesn't even know about the Save America Act. Oh, I agree. Like, yeah, I understand that, but the backlash would build. That's the whole point of it. Just demonstrate to the world you're trying, and it gets some people back. But no, they're not going to. It's just wild. How can you not try? You know, if this was the Democrats, you know the type of shit that we pulling right now to get this through. The only reason it didn't happen before was because of Cinema and Manchin. That's the only reason nothing crazy occurred. But now they're gone. The millisecond they take, no, not even a majority, a 50-50 Senate with a Democrat president, they're going to nuke the filibuster. They're going to abolish all this shit. They're going to add DC as a state, Puerto Rico as a state. They're going to do some crazy shit with God knows what. Meanwhile, these people can't even agree on a 90-10 issue. Jacko Maxer 2, go crazy, Trump endorse Paxton, this won't pass. Yeah. They're going to throw Cornyn under their bus. This is fucking wild. They would rather have John Cornyn lose than pass the damn bill. That is pathetic. Absolutely wild that this is actually happening. Get Vance in there. Yeah, make Vance the majority leader at this point. You gotta try something different. If Democrats retake the Senate, it would be with more moderate Democrats who wouldn't want to abolish filibuster. That's bullshit. Guys, you had Manchin and Cinema. They were the only reasons they did not nuke the filibuster. There are no real moderate Democrats left, at least in the Senate. Fetterman's just a bullshit artist. He talks like he's a moderate, and yes, once in a while he might vote no on something, but he's still going to vote a line on the big stuff. The stuff that his vote is needed on. I feel like this was the obvious result. I mean, kind of, but there was still a chance where if you just tried, there would be backlash. Instead, everybody would be talking about, hey, Democrats were the ones that blocked this. But no, they didn't even try. Republicans failed. They're going to, I should say. American Nerd for 6. As much as I hate Lyndon B. Johnson, I have to admit he knew how to get people in line for his agenda. There is a reason he was called the Maysayer of the Senate. Yeah, he knew how to get shit done. It was insanely corrupt. It was broken, but he got stuff through. Yeah, the master of the Senate, excuse me. Fetterman would vote in line with the party, but he'd be the first person they throw out. Yeah, he's gonna be done in 28 anyways. So what's the fucking point? He's gonna lose. John Cornyn was almost our leader, if you recall. He was second place in the leadership vote. I remember that. Yeah, John Cornyn, unironically, knowing how insanely corrupt John Cornyn is, he would probably get the Save America Act through. He probably would have. Because he knows he is fucked if this doesn't get through. He knows he is screwed. He would have done everything in his power. You talk about like corruption, he would have done God knows what to get this through. We would have been better off with John Cornyn. I hate saying that, but that's the reality of it. He would have gotten the thing through at this point. He would have made a deal with God knows who, probably the devil himself, the nuke the filibuster, and yeah. But no, John Thune, he does not have to worry about that. He doesn't really care because his re-election is up in what, 28? So, yeah. He's up at 28, excuse me. Rep Cornyn. Yeah, he's fucked. You could have put actual pressure on Cornyn. Yeah, you could have put real pressure on him. He would have been screwed. But, no, we get John Thune instead. Who, again, I think he's a good person, but just he's not a good majority leader. Worst part is Thune won't be gone. Most of these senators wanted him as leader. He was McConnell's right-hand man. Yeah, he was. Thune throws Cornyn under the bus to save himself for 2 years. Yeah, that's just fucking wild. Like, he's probably fucked at 28 now. Trump is going to go off on this guy. We'll see though, but wow. Wow, wow, wow. Hey, Rap, do you think the state legislators could just pass their own versions of the Save America Act? I mean, yeah, but it doesn't matter if states like Pennsylvania don't pass it or Michigan. The whole point is to force Democrat states to adopt common sense bills, like regulations and stuff on elections. Without the Save America Act, you don't get that. Cornyn would have lost his primary outright had he been our leader. Yeah, he would have been forced to do shit. He would have been forced to get off his ass and do stuff if he wanted to survive. That's why at this point we would have been better off with Cornyn. I cannot believe I'm saying this. Thune, I think, is slightly better than John Cornyn, just slightly on the issues. But Cornyn, he is insanely corrupt. He is comically corrupt. So, get ready for Noam the primary Thune. Oh, don't even mention that. That's gonna be a shit show. But yeah, I do wonder if this fails, how will Trump respond to all of this? Because I know he said he's going to not endorse anybody that goes against it. But no, at this point, if they don't get the Senate through, just say, fuck it. All you guys lose my endorsement. All of you. Not just some of you, every single one of you, except maybe a select few. Fuck it. You're not getting my endorsement. I did all this shit for you, and you did nothing for me. Fuck it. That's what he should do. Rescind all these endorsements and say, hey, kindly get rid of these guys. How could Democrats get to 50-50 in the Senate after 28? I mean, they could theoretically get it this year, but I don't think it's going to happen. So, Trump is going to be so done. Yeah, I don't know how he's going to respond. You might see Trump, like, just go off on some of these people. American Nerd for 2. Did McConnell want Thune over Cornyn? Yes. Tristan for 5. One positive with the SAVE Act going down is it makes voter integrity a state issue again, encourages people to flip their state legislators. Yeah, but again, it doesn't matter if states like California don't do shit. Like, that's the issue. Jacko Max for 5. Crazy we still have passed at least voter ID while having Democrats control both state legislative chambers. Sucks the ballot referendum only includes ID. Nevada. Yeah, I mean, you guys got that through, thankfully, but voter ID is just one aspect of it. You need way more. You need proof of citizenship. You need access to the voter rolls and clean it up. That's the only way to fix our elections. That and adopt the way Florida counts votes. So, Trump will crash out. I'm curious. I think he should. People have been waiting for the crash out. I think that's part of the reason his approval's gone down. People are just stunned that Trump's letting this happen. People want to see Trump go ballistic. Remember, Trump was at his peak when he was going off on people and he was doing whatever the hell he wanted to do back in January 2025. He's still doing a lot of good stuff, but people want to see him go off and prove that, yeah, he is not a part of the swamp. Right now, he looks like he is, but we'll see what happens, obviously. But do you think the president can write his own executive order, version of the Save America Act, and give it to the Supreme Court? I heard that theory. What could the president do? Maybe you could argue maybe some kind of like a national emergency, maybe. Like, how would that work, though? The only way I could see that even have a chance of passing is if they prove that, oh, we have clear foreign interference in our elections. Like, you need some kind of proof, like something crazy like that. Like, not just, oh, the Facebook ads were paid by Russia. I'm talking about, no, you have like Russia or China or Venezuela or God knows who actually like flipping results. That's the only way you would even have a remote chance of forcing that through. And even then, I don't think it's enough. I don't know. We'll see. If I was Trump, I would be ranting in the Senate chamber about this shit. Make them all sit there for hours. You know what? Like I said, somebody actually suggested this a couple days ago. Why can't Trump just go to the Senate right now? Go to the Senate chamber and just speak. Just sit in a chair like where the president resides. Just sit there and talk for hours. Fuck it. You guys not gonna do anything? Just have Trump sit there and talk for hours. Do his own filibuster. Force these incompetent assholes to listen. Yeah, he has to go to the podium and sit there. Just rant on for hours. Do it. Not to mention, Trump wants election reform. So if this doesn't pass, he'll be super pissed. Yeah, he would be. This is the moment that, honestly, if this fails, this could actually be a net positive at the end. Because the issue with Trump right now is this has been the issue with him. He keeps trusting the wrong people. He did this back in 2017 through 2020. For whatever reason, he keeps thinking, oh, if he works with people like Mitch McConnell, they're going to work with him. That's bullshit. We'll see, though. Spikes for 2. Who win the Senate primary in Kentucky? I think Nate Morse has a chance. If Trump stands in the primary, Nate Morse is surging. We'll see, though. American Nerd for 2. Trump needs to go full house of cards on the Senate. You gotta do something. You have to find a way to force this through. You have to remind people that, hey, you're the fucking president. Like, you have the power to do this, and you think there's issues with the elections? You gotta do something. You gotta prove to people that you're actually serious. You gotta win people back somehow. Again, I don't know how to do that, really, but you just say, fuck it, and just pass this bill. Like, I'm not pass the bill, but like pass an executive order and say, fuck it. The federal government runs the elections now. You have to do something crazy. I have no clue. I don't know what to do. I honestly don't know what Trump can or should do here. Let's see. Jacob Martin for 2. Eric Daughteray, Trump went to Capitol Hill. I don't believe that. Oh shit, he did. Oh my gosh. Hold up here. Yeah, so apparently, yeah. President Trump and the Irish Prime Minister have arrived at the US Capitol for luncheon. Trump should put oh wow. So he actually pulled up to the fucking to the Capitol with the Irish president. That's fucking random. It's like, yeah, we have the Prime Minister from Ireland. And yeah. He's just vibing. Meanwhile, Trump just goes to the Senate floor and does some shit. Oh my gosh, please, Trump, do it. If he actually goes to Senate chamber and does something crazy, his approval would surge overnight. Just tell everybody in their face, you're fucking incompetent, you're stupid, you're corrupt. Just go off, please. Mr. President, do it. We need Trump to do it. Okay, count for 2. Guess what, US Senate? Dad just came home. Yeah. Yeah, the Irish Prime Minister. Yeah, he's just chilling. Like, you know, he's just eating his lunch or whatever. He's just watching Trump just go off for an hour. Please do it. Please. I want to see a Trump filibuster. His own filibuster in the Senate. Like, please. You know how much entertainment that would bring to everybody? If he just sat there and did his own filibuster. Please do it. We're to see, though, but yeah. Yeah, he should do it. Why not? Like, at this point, what do you have to lose? What do you have to lose if you try it? Oh, the Ireland Prime Minister hears a muffled yelling. Yeah. He's just in the other room eating like a sandwich. And just freaking Trump's going off in the other room. Yeah. Irish Prime Minister, Mr. Trump, what are we doing? Mr. Trump, watch this shit, man. This is gonna be awesome. Yeah, I hope he does that. Please. Please do it. How likely Trump knows what Thune did 100%? Yeah, Trump is, yeah. We'll see. We shall see. Trump challenges rhinos to a duel and wins. Yeah, I agree. American Nerd for 2. Trump afternoon dumbasses. What's up? Again, I don't know how this is gonna go. If he's actually gonna go to the Capitol and do shit, but please do it. He executes Order 66. He should. Yeah, it's just kind of fucking crazy to think he actually what the Capitol looks like. Please do it. If you want to really pass this, do your own filibuster. Who's going to stop you? Who is going to honestly stop Trump if he just go to the Senate floor right now and does his own filibuster? Well, you think they're going to have they're going to force him out? I highly doubt that. What if we get Lindsey Graham to replace Thune? Sadly, Lindsey Graham would probably get this through. He does whatever Trump says to do, and he'll probably find a way to pass it. Whoever's connected with Trump, tell Trump to go to the Senate floor. He should honestly do it. Just sit there and do your own filibuster. Waste everybody else's time. If they don't want to do it, fine. And explain every single shit law these states have with elections. Explain how California takes months to count votes. Illinois, same thing. New York, same thing. Talk about how you have issues everywhere. There's got to be some kind of... He's got to do something. Please, do it. What if we get Lindsey... Oh, read that already. Shit. Sorry, leader of the free world, you can't be in our chamber because you hurt our feelings. Yeah. Tyrone for majority leader. I agree. Yeah, he should go to the chamber. Go to the Senate chamber right now and just filibuster. Do it. Make the whole world watch how incompetent and useless the Senate really is. I mean, that would be... He's not going to do it, obviously, but that would be kind of funny. He just goes to the Senate chamber and just says, you guys suck. Mike Lee, Rick Scott are the two I would replace Thune with. The problem is, Mike Lee maybe gets the votes, but Rick Scott doesn't. Please, Trump, do it. Yeah, so we're going to see what happens. So this is a big day for the Save America Act. If they fail, not good. Not good at all. But there is a chance it could still find a way to pass. I have no clue how. If you already got 3 people like Murkowski, Tillis, and McConnell voting no, you need to do something. I don't know. Go full Homelander. You gotta do something. All right, before we end the stream, guys, we got some breaking news out of North Korea. Breaking. The 2026 North Korean elections happened, and Kim Jong-un, so I thought this was fucking hilarious. His party got 99.93% of the votes. That is a swing against his party by 0.07%. Sorry, I just thought this was fucking hilarious. Who is voting against Kim Jong-un? First of all, why are they reporting this? That Kim Jong-un lost votes? That's the first question. But secondly, who voted against him? Shouldn't they be dead right now? And why did it swing against him? That's the real question. This is fucking hilarious. I hope this is real. Oh my gosh. Still more legit than California elections. Yeah. Kim Jong-un for Senate Majority Leader. Yeah, I agree. I just thought this was funny. I hope, please God, let this be real. Yeah, it actually is real. There was 0.07% of voters in North Korea that voted against them, with nearly 100% turnout. Funny how that works. Excuse me, not 100%, 99.99% turnout. Yeah, sure. All right. If anyone got any more questions, concerns, whatever, send them now. Last calls for super chats. Last calls for super chats, folks. Imagine if you vote for anyone else, the voting machine just blows up on command. Yeah. No, they just haul you away and you never be seen again. The greatest political comeback in North Korean history. Yeah, that's real. That is 100% real. Who did turn out? Who knows? Totally legitimate people. Yeah, they totally had 99% turnout. Yeah, sure. Kim Jong Un appoints Marco Rubio for vice president. Yeah, vice supreme leader. K Cup for 2. Watch Luke deep dive at the 0.07% for no reason. It's obviously a fucking scam. And like when they say it's against them, that just like I guarantee you, it was just people who were told to vote against them to make it look more legit. See, guys, it's all totally legitimate. Yeah, sure. But okay, everybody, thank you all so much for watching. If you guys did enjoy, smash the like button down below, subscribe, share with your friends, and of course, join the channel today. We will be back tomorrow with a deep dive into what happens later tonight in Illinois. All right, Godspeed.